Right enough, City and Chelsea. What about some quickies, Don?
Let's do it.
Yes, Arsenal destroyed Burnley 5-0, Don. They have now scored 21 goals in the last 5 Premier League matches. This is the most ever in the Premier League history over a 5-game stretch.
Yeah.
What are you the most impressed with that team?
Do you know Kai Havertz? I thought was amazing at the weekend.
Yeah.
I thought he played in a sort of more advanced role, quite lopsided way. He wasn't quite a midfield player, not quite a sort of false nine. He was terrific. I think it's that attitude. I think the quality players that have got, a quick line on Burnley, they were horrendous.
They were so bad.
So bad. They're
You
so
were commenting
young.
on the game, we have to say as
They
well.
were so young, so naive, got one way of playing, terrible from Vincent Kompany, saying, minute one, do you know what we're going to do? Try and outplay Arsenal. Good luck with that. But Arsenal were brilliant. Every time they went forward, they could have scored more. It looked like 10.
They could have scored 10, yeah.
But
easily.
21-5, the goal difference is amazing, and their confidence is really high.
It looked, again, you were commenting on the game. I was only watching, but it looked like Burnley tried to play Havertz offside on the throw-in that led to the...
Right,
So
Jules.
do they even know the rules?
I don't know. Right, my lad is 7-year-old, and you get taught at 6. You can't be offside from a throw-in. These are professional footballers playing in the Premier League.
It looked like Delcroix steps up.
Offside. Can't be offside from a throw-in. What are the Burnley lads teaching them? On Arsenal, I just thought it was easy for them, but I thought they were brilliant.
Yeah, when they play like that, when they move the ball like that.
Trossard's such an underrated footballer.
Yeah, I agree.
Brilliant footballer. Martinelli, Saka's in the form he's like. He's got 6 and 4.
Yeah.
Rice signing just looks cheap.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 105 million. Yeah, I thought they were brilliant.
I agree. Liverpool is the top of the Premier League after they won at Brentford 4-1, Don. They also lost Jota, Jones and Darwin, though, in that game.
Yeah, I think Darwin's just a precautionary. I think they're not taking any chances with the game against Luton midweek. I don't think he'll start. I think Gab will start, but they're probably resting him for the cup final. I think the Jota one was
It looked bad.
Ugly one to watch. I think Norgard sort of landed on him 15, 16 stone, wherever he is. He landed on his medial. Curtis Jones took a tap on the ankle, so that's a worry how he limped off. But I think he's quite durable, Curtis Jones. But it was a great win. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. 12:30 kick-off. Jurgen Klopp's not like them this season to go there and win 4-1.
With Salah coming back with that kind of form already, man. The
bench.
guy's been injured for a month. He comes back like that.
Ridiculous. Psychologically,
he's a freak of nature.
I knew he wouldn't play. I had a feeling. I had a feeling Klopp would have him on the bench, readying him to come off the bench.
Yeah.
What a weapon to have come off the
Incredible.
bench. So fantastic win.
And what about Manchester United and Rasmus Højlund, Don? Because he scored 2 more goals. They won another game. And that second goal, there was a bit of a debate between you and I if he meant that kind of chest.
He meant it.
Okay. I believe you.
They're in good form. 4 wins on the spin in the Premier League. I'm still torn.
Are you on board? Yeah, I was going to say, are you convinced or not?
No, I'm not convinced. Not yet. Not yet. It took Erik ten Hag an awful long time to figure out that Anthony was never the answer.
Yeah.
And when you looked at the relationship and the lack of service to Rasmus Højlund throughout the season, it was blatantly obvious. You keep Rashford on the left-hand side, you take Garnacho away from that position, and you put him on the right side. That is like staggeringly obvious.
Yeah.
Because then the front man's going to get more service.
Yeah.
So even though Rashford on the left side, dropping in on his right, is he's not going to get many assists to Højlund just because of the dynamic of chopping inside. But when you've got Garnacho, he can come inside, but more importantly, get to the byline, he's going to put crosses in. I think he meant the second goal. I think it was very instinctive. As a player, when you're in that position, it's amazing how at the start of the season, he wouldn't have been in that position or he wouldn't have finished it. Just form.
Yeah, for sure.
That little bit of luck. But I think once the ball got shanked to him from Garnacho, he instinctively knew where he was. He's chested it towards goal. That's when you're relying on a tiny bit of luck, whether it goes in or not.
Yeah.
But credit him, he's in amazing form. And listen, we've all seen him at Atalanta for quite a few years. He's a terrific young player.
Yeah.
He just needs a little bit of time. You go into Man United, it's not easy. You have service. It makes his job a lot more easier. Sure. And I think they're on the right track, put it this way, but I'm not convinced.
Definitely. Don, Tottenham are struggling a little bit at the moment. They lost at the weekend at home against Wolves.
Only 2 wins in 6. Do you know I think this was always going to happen, Jules?
Did you?
I did. Not in terms of they're going to be having a bad run. I just think the way Postecoglou plays football, I said it from probably match week 2 or 3 in, Tottenham are going to win some games 4-3 and they're going to lose some games 4-3 because he's got one way of playing. Yeah. But as a Tottenham fan, don't be too down on him. You've had Antonio Conte, you've had Jose Mourinho, boring football. Now you've got like the Kevin Keegan Newcastle entertainers.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sort of embrace it a little bit, knowing that you're not Man City at the minute. And I'm not being patronising, it's not a dig. But they're getting entertained every single week. Yeah. I thought the game was great and it could have went either way at 1-1.
That's very
I fancied Spurs the way they score goals late on. to go on and win the game.
The only issue I would say, slightly on this,
Yeah.
I agree with everything.
Yeah.
But they clearly have issues on set pieces.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like... And I mean, maybe they work really hard at training, and for now we don't see the rewards of it on the pitch. But it looks like they're still very vulnerable.
There was a funny one happened from the João Gomez header.
Yeah.
And I only seen it again last night for the first time. When Son was supposed to mark him,
Yeah.
Max Kilman pulled his arm.
Yeah, but
So
you do
go on
those
Son,
blocks and you do the...
I know, but it was quite cute.
Yeah.
And by the way, mention to them. Gary
yeah.
O'Neill's men.
Great job.
Neto is some player.
Yeah,
They are some team. But yeah, slight worry, but don't be too down if you're a Tottenham fan.
Roy Hodgson, we're thinking a lot of,
Yeah.
he's feeling better and recovering in hospital after...
You send him my best.
Yeah, falling ill. And Crystal Palace should announce, we're thinking, the arrival of Oliver Glasner very soon, Don. But let's talk about Roy, because, I mean, great football man.
I've got utmost
very
respect
sad
for him.
news when we saw that he was falling ill.
Yeah, man, that I don't feel as though you can ever be down on Roy.
Yeah.
The jobs that he's had, I think 23 club jobs, a couple of international jobs, Switzerland and England along the way. Well respected in the game. Never full of any waffle after a game. He always just tells you exactly how it is.
Yeah.
We wish him all the best. I think it's very sensitive from a Palace angle.
Of course.
You know, if you're Steve Parish or Mark Bright, you don't really want to be the men that sacks Roy Hodgson and then finish his career.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, they'd like to have got it to the end of the season where he was out of contract. And then, obviously, you know, you either get him upstairs or you retire sort of gracefully. So I think at this point, talking about Glasner and talking about different things at Palace, it's all about sending Roy our best 100%. Wishes.
Don, Aston Villa back to winning ways after 2 losses in a row in the league and in the cup. Ollie Watkins was too strong for the Fulham defence.
One of his goals, I mean, we talk in football about if you're a midfield player playing with a striker, you're playing opposites.
Yeah.
And what that means is if Ollie Watkins comes short, I know he doesn't want it short, he wants it in behind. He comes short, spun in behind, it's a D-up. Great run, great centre forward play. And they've dropped a few points lately. I think they dropped points. Newcastle obviously beat them. They dropped points against Everton, Sheffield United in games that they feel they
they lost
should have
against
won.
United last
weekend.
weekend.
They've got 1 or 2 injuries. Konza's out, Tyrone Mings out for the season. Kamara's done his ACL.
Yeah, that's bad.
So in this game, they had to respond. Fulham weren't great. They gifted up a couple of very easy goals, one from a throw-in. But Watkins is the key.
It's great.
I think you can cover with the likes of Tielemans, who's a good player.
Yeah.
They've got Douglas Luiz, a good player, so they can cover Kamara. But if they lose Watkins...
You know what's quite funny in a way? Is that Haaland doesn't score this weekend, right?
Yeah.
But pretty much every other striker in the league. So Darwin.
Yeah.
Even Munoz at Fulham.
Yeah.
Watkins. Tony.
Yeah.
Solanke.
Yeah.
Every other 9 is scoring a weekend where Erling Haaland, the best of all of them, is not scoring.
But all them number 9s would love to be Erling Haaland.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.